What's up, YouTube? Alright, I've made attempts on this video for so long, and I've thought about doing it over the past few days, so I'm finally gonna do it. And sorry for me eating in this video. Sorry if I talk through a full mouth. I'm going to film a video about my background story. So first grade, for me, was pretty fun. You know, kindergarten, I went to a private school. It was fun. First grade was really fun. Second grade was uneventful. Like, I'm not sure if the teacher liked me so much. She was really strict. But, all in all, I passed. My mom was wondering, because I didn't know how to do homework really good. Because I learned different than other kids. Because I have autism disability. Alright, now I'm going to be completely honest. After second grade, I moved on to third grade, which was actually really fun. In first and second grade, we had show and tell. In third grade, they asked, what about show and tell? And our third grade teacher went, well, it's getting a little bit old for third grade, or you're a little too old for show and tell in third grade. I really liked third grade. It was fun. I had some friends. Then fourth grade, so it was fun for me. In fourth grade, I didn't have very many friends. A lot of people would talk smack about me. There was me in the group, a kid called Greg, a kid called Jacob, Eddie, Cecil, and Nick. So it was 6 friends at one point. And one time, me and Nick and Cecil were hanging out, and Nick was joking about this little joke he told us. So he said, who should I pick on today? And then he walked away. Because he said he was just joking. And then he got into a fight because a kid called Jimmy, who I was also friends with, charged out to Nick and rammed him with his head and knocked him over, and then they started fighting. I don't know why they couldn't have just... Why don't you just walk away from that kind of crap? Because walking away is the best way to avoid a fight. Actually, I tried to push Jimmy, and Jimmy would tackle me or kick me back. We were trying to assist Nick. Cecil tackled Jimmy pretty bad and took him down. And then Jimmy threw him against a tire. And then the fight was broken up, and Nick and Jimmy both got suspended for 1 whole day. And then Nick told me that he couldn't hang out with me anymore. What was for that? He couldn't hang out with me for the rest of that part of the year because it was around... I can't remember if it was the beginning of December or the end of November. But yeah, I couldn't hang out with him. Then my mom talked to his dad one time, and then he said I could hang out with him again after Christmas. So I was talking to Nick about that, and he thought I was telling him a lie. He comes back from winter break and said, "What's up, Surreal? My dad said I could hang out with you again, so we gotta hang out again." In 4th grade, we all played these power games that were fun. They were fun back then, yeah. Yeah. That's how it went. Is in 4th grade we all played these power games. It was me, Cecil, Nick, Eddie, Greg, and Jacob. We all played these power games, all 6 of us. We all had fun playing those power games. Nick would do this one attack where he went da-na-na-na-na-na, like he played some hard rock music. But then, the year ended later. Cecil moved out. So we had 5 in the group, and then Nick would come and go. But he wouldn't play those power games because he said he was getting too old for them. He was... I was 11 back then. I thought it was okay. Still, it was very fun. Year before, me, Nick, Eddie, Greg, and Jacob were in the same class. Cecil was in a different group, different class, but he was still our friend. But then there was one time Greg made Cecil cry, and I said, "You made him cry." And he said, "Who stinking cares?" And we checked on Cecil, and he became happy again. And then he and Greg apologized to him, I think. In 3rd grade, Greg and Cecil were in the same class as me. You know? So we were all friends in 5th grade, except Cecil moved. Hold up. And then... Then in 6th grade, you know what? I was playing those power games for a while, but then I just left because, you know, then I didn't find the same excitement with power games anymore. If you know what I mean. I became 12 in 5th grade, then when I turned 12, when I was still 12, I didn't want to play those anymore, and then I turned 13, and I'm like, 12 in 5th grade was fun. Then me, Jacob, Eddie, Greg, and Nick were in different classes. Nick actually stopped being my friend in 5th grade for no reason. But then we became friends again. Because Nick's actually a really nice guy. I don't speak to him as much as I did. I mean, he stayed in Rainier all the way until his sophomore year, I think, and then he moved out, I think. Yeah, and then 6th grade I started playing football at recess instead. So I became friends with some jocks, and then in 7th grade I still had the same group of friends as jocks, 7th and 8th grade is when my suicidal thoughts came. So I was dealing with a lot of suicidal thoughts, saying I was going to shoot myself. One kid put his hand in my face, and then I couldn't get him off of me, and then I shouldn't have done this, but I kneed him in the balls because my knee went up. It was like this. I'm like, get off me, bam! And I didn't mean to do that, but man, I used to do that when I was a kid. I would knee these guys in the balls when I was younger, really young, and trust me, I didn't know how badly balls hurt. Now I do. Yes, I've been hit with a football there. That's about it. Coming into middle school, there was some drama, just not as much. In elementary school, there's none. But now I'm going to go into my high school story, because I don't remember all my years. In 4th grade, I would get into fights a lot for some kind of reason. And then one lady went, "We've been through all this last year." That's why I started hanging out with Eddie, Jacob, Greg, and everyone. In 5th grade, I was getting made fun of, and I got the shit kicked out of me. And then this kid, and then I said something really rude to him about his mother. And then he attacked me even more. I'm not really actually rude. If you come to meet me, I'm actually a really nice person. Okay, so freshman year was probably one of the greatest years. When I was 16 years old, my life was perfect. No kids started... I became friends with a lot of jocks. A lot. Yeah, I was part of the baseball team. And a lot of people didn't like me because they said I was friends with too many jocks who were assholes. Yeah. Then, sophomore year really sucked because I had to deal with so much depression and so much failed grades. Because I got so sick one day. And junior year was probably the worst. That one really sucked for me besides the year before. The year after, I'm just going to hurry it up. The year after was okay. I mean, I got a girlfriend who I'm with still today. But, I really want to go into detail about this. This was horrible. I became really violent. Like, I would walk through, turn up my music, and I'd be going like this to everyone in the hallway. I'd be giving everyone the death stare or the evil eye. So, what I'm basically gonna say is that after that, I came back the next year. Everything was fixed. The year 2011 was a really good year for me. That's when my life started to change and I started to become all bubbly, sweet, and everything. I came back to the way I was. 2012 was also good. I graduated that year. 2013 last year, no, that year was full of complications. This year is not bad so far, but there have been some really bad days this year. 2011 had some bad days, but it was a good year altogether. But, I could tell you something. Okay, there used to be this kid who lived down this street. Listen to this carefully. He made up we used to be friends, but then he made up all these rumors. Here you go. So he made up this rumor that he created Family Guy. Seriously, brother? Or seriously, dude? That's what I meant to say. Seriously, man? Not brother. That's what my friends call me, is brother. To tell you the truth, dude, if you really did create Family Guy, your name would be Seth MacFarlane. They said he created The Simpsons, and I said, you weren't even alive when The Simpsons came out. You were alive when Family Guy came out, but you don't got the brains to create that. Yeah, and then he said he invented the Xbox 360. This is what Eric Vierthaler said in one of his videos. If you invented the Xbox 360, you'd be a millionaire, retard. Yeah, really? To Terry, who used to live down my street, Terry Stevenson, if you invented the Xbox 360, you'd be a millionaire, dumbass. Yeah, he's a dumbass. He also made up this rumor that I dressed up as Ghostface off of Scream, like in one of my Ghostface's masks, and I went to his house and I tried to kill him. No one believed him in that rumor. No one's ever believed a rumor that he has said, except for one. He thought that I got so sick one time that I had to stay home from school because I had sex with a girl who had scabies who had AIDS and herpes. Trust me, I've never had sex in my life. I don't have sex until marriage. It's wrong. But to tell you the truth, no one ever believed that Terry kid, and no one really liked him that much, But besides the point, I had a friend called Ben. We were friends for about 4 years or more. 4 or 5 years. Me and him were really good friends. We started hanging out when we were young, and then he came home with us, and then his mom came and picked him up. Then I went over to his house, and me and him were best friends. He was my best friend back then. He was my best friend. Excuse me. Even when I went to school, he was still my best friend. There's a guy who was like a father to me. He passed away in 2006. His grandson used to be one of my best friends. Me, him, Thomas, that's the nephew, or grandson, and Kevin was another grandson. Ben hung out with them once, and he had fun hanging out with them as well. And me and Ben stopped hanging out one time because I heard his mom did not want him to be friends with his old friends. And his dad would always allow it, but then after she got divorced, I heard she didn't want Ben, her son, to be friends with his old friends, so that kind of broke up our friendship. I had 2 neighbors over there, or a neighbor, who had 2 kids who became really great friends of mine. And they would always invite me over for dinner or over to have some fun, And during the summers, we would always hang around, but then they moved to Renton, which is farther away. I talked to his sister on Facebook, Lauren's sister, Lauren and Sierra, that was their name, the 2 kids who I hung out with. I'm older than both of them, but I sometimes talk to Sierra on Facebook. I try to talk to Lauren, but he doesn't really talk to me. We would jump on the trampoline, we would hang out, we would have fun, we would play these games. We would always have fun. One time Cecil Kashadi the friend who moved after 4th grade, would sometimes come over. He came over once or more times, and then he met them once. Lauren and Sierra, yeah. But then me and Cecil stopped hanging out, or he didn't come to my house very often. He came once, twice, 3 times. I went to his house twice yeah. That was about it. And now, since I have a disability, I've been looking for a job since 2012, after I graduated. I looked last year, or I looked the year 2012. 0 success. I mean, I got 2 job interviews and that was it. Then, most recently, I went to a job interview on the 2nd which was yesterday. This might not be uploaded today. I don't know yet, but it might be. Today's the 3rd. And I got a job. So now I'm going to start working. So I'm not sure how many videos I can post. I'm only going to be working 2 times a week, I think. Because I'm going to start part-time at Costco. But I'm not going to work so often. Because I'm only going to work about 2 days a week. For 6 hours about. Or 5.5 to 6. Yeah, so, that's about all I have to say. Stay up to date and subscribe. Alright, bye. Peace.